Hello internet people, it is your good friend Gluglore here. A lot of people have been asking me from my other videos, hey Gluglore, how do you make those big old Perler Bead projects that you do? So if you want to make something like my good friend Papyrus right here, or if you want to make something a little bit more modest like this shy guy, I am here to tell you what you will need. First things first, if you're doing a Perler Bead project, you're going to need Perler Beads. You have a few different options. You can buy them in packs like this of 1,000 of one color. You could also buy them in these bundle packs that'll have a bunch of different colors separated for you, which I personally really like. And then the one that's a little trickier, but some people still enjoy using, is this big old bin of a bunch of different colors mixed together. And thing about these is, yeah, it's great, you get a bunch of colors, but they're all mixed, and I'm just like, oh no, I need like 10 green, but it's gonna take me like, I don't know, 20 minutes to find them. So I personally recommend getting one of these or one of these to start your projects, because sorting them out in the big bin is just gonna take a long time. Next, you are gonna need some of these pegboards to put your project's beads like on top of. They usually come in packs of 2. You might notice that they have these little nubs on here, and these nubs connect to like the underside. So if you want to make like a bigger project, you can lock these together and make something big. So when you have your pegboards and you have your beads, you can start to put your beads for your project on top of these pegboards. Now my hands are kind of like stubby and nubby, so like when I put beads on, it's kind of awkward. So what I recommend doing is getting yourself a pair of tweezers. I have these cheap plastic tweezers that I use, and the good thing about tweezers is they have these 2 points, so I can put 2 beads on at once, which I really enjoy doing because it saves me time to do double the work in the same amount of time. So that's how I put my beads down, with these tweezers. After you're done, let's say you made this, I don't know, a red police baton. You can get some tape. I use Scott's masking tape. And rip off a piece for yourself. Put it on top of your project like this, and just like smooth the tape over the beads. And then you can kind of like flip over your project, and then you'll have your beads on here. The reason why I recommend putting your beads on tape is because because eventually you're gonna have to iron. If you iron on top of this plastic sheet, a lot of times it'll start to warp and bend, and then you can't really use this anymore. Or sometimes like the little like things that stick out here, little teeth, will like melt down and you can't put the beads on them anymore. So I don't like to waste these. They're like $5 for a pack of 2, at least where I find them, so it's not really worth it for me to buy more. So I put them on tape, because it doesn't matter if the tape gets ruined. After that, since we're going to be ironing, I usually buy parchment paper to put on top of my beads, because if you just put a hot iron on top of these beads, you're going to get sticky, wet plastic on top of your iron. You're going to get a new iron too. So this is already a little piece of parchment paper that I ripped off. You buy parchment paper at like, I don't know, grocery stores next to aluminum foil. And like I said earlier, you're also going to need a hot iron. You can iron down those beads just for a little bit. You can lift up the iron to see how like melted they're starting to get. Oh, hello everybody. And basically the way that I tell if the beads are done is if the circles in the middle, like you can kind of hardly see it now, but if those circles right there start to go away mostly, then I know that they're melted enough where I can take this off. So I'm almost done. Yeah, that's about good. So I'll let that cool for a second while I talk about the last thing. Usually Perler will give you, with their like Pegboard Kits, so with these, they'll give you these pieces of paper that you can put on instead of parchment paper. I personally don't like these that much because they're small and they're usually a little bit more sticky than parchment paper. Plus, if you're doing a big project like DDD over here, you need to use like multiple ones to stick it on, and then sometimes the beads fall off, and it's just kind of a mess. But with parchment paper, it's really big and it'll cover the thing in one piece. So I recommend, again, using parchment paper instead of this. Okay, bead should be dry enough now. So I'll just peel this off. Yep, that is definitely melted. And then when you peel that off, you're going to get your finished perler bead project. So I have my red police baton to hit Shy Guys with.